Hey, what's going on, everybody? Justin here at Trumful Reads, and in this video, I'm going to be doing my March TBR, even though this is already a couple days late. By the time I edit it, get it uploaded, it's going to be really, really late. But yeah, let's just get started. There are quite a few readathons or events that I want to participate in March. We have the Spring into Sci-Fi readathon that's going on right now. Then we have March of the Mammoths, which is basically reading 800 plus page books, which is crazy. And then also I think I'm going to try and participate in the sequelathon as well towards the end of the month. And then I kind of want to read some other stuff as well. So we will see what I can scrounge up here in the rest of the month of March. So yeah, let's just get started with the books. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I only got 9 this time that I want to try and read in the month of March. And basically it's because 2 of them are like combined are like 2,000 pages. So that's like 3/4 of my monthly allotment anyways, so I'm gonna have a hard time just getting through these 9, but yeah, let's just get started. For the Spring to Sci-Fi one, I've already finished Horus Rising, but I'll just go over the 3 books for that one, and they're all going to be in the Horus Heresy series, but I'm going to have individual reviews of each one, and I already have one, though it's not one of these 3 obviously because I haven't done those ones, up on the channel somewhere. But we have Horus Rising, The Seeds of Heresy Are Sown by Dan Evnett, the first book. And then we also have False Gods by Graham McNeil. And this one is The Heresy Takes Root, which is the second book. And the first 3 books are like a trilogy. They're kind of important for setting the context for a lot of the rest of the series. But after like the first 3, you don't necessarily have to read everything in order. It's more just kind of finding different plot like kind of story arcs or plot lines or characters that you like enjoy, and you can kind of just read about them as you want to. And like that's exactly kind of what I'm doing with number 9, which I don't have yet, but it's Mechanicum, and this one is also by Graham McNeil. And I think the subtitle, it was like The War Comes to Mars, but it's now, or like on most books, it's Knowledge is Power. And this is the reason I'm reading this one before is because like I said, this one's number 9, even though I probably should read 3. It's about basically when the Galactic Civil War is kind of going on. There's like a mini civil war going on Mars, which is a major manufacturing planet for building like the machines and the armor and the guns and stuff for the 2 opposing sides. And there's kind of a civil war going on what side Mars is going to take, which is going to give a big advantage to the 2 opposing sides between Horus and Emperor. So I thought that one would be kind of cool. Plus, like the artwork on that one with that tech priest is just like really swag, I think. But anyway, so those are the 3 sci-fi books. I don't know why I put them on there. Now for the March of the Mammoths, I want to try and read 2 giant books. The first one is going to be Napoleon: A Life by Andrew Roberts. And I basically just want to start studying kind of the Napoleonic era a little bit more, and I thought, this giant biography of Napoleon would be a good place to start for some reason. But like I said in some other videos, Flintlock Fantasy is like one of my favorite subgenres of fantasy, and a lot of times the Napoleonic era seems to be kind of the era that we get a lot of their inspiration from. Plus, it's just kind of an era in history I want to start learning about because I want to start branching out and doing a couple more subjects or eras of history that I normally don't study. So that's why I'm going with Napoleon. Now for the sequelathon, I got 2 sequels in mind. First one is also another Mammoth book at over 1,000 pages. It's Brand Sanderson's Words of Radiance. I didn't really like the first one, to be honest, but I already had purchased the second one. And I don't know, I'm just apparently terrible at cutting my losses. So I'm going to try and do Words of Radiance as well. Everyone's told me this one is definitely better than the first one, so we will see about that. So that's my other giant book. And then for another fantasy book, for these did I say prequelathon or sequelathon? Because it's a sequelathon. It's Harpist in the Wind, which is the 3rd book in the Riddlemaster trilogy by Patricia McKillop. And this is like really cool, just kind of like vintage 70s, 80s fantasy. I've read The Riddlemaster of Head and Air, Sea, and Fire, the first 2 books in the trilogy. And I think I read the first chapter last year at some point for another readathon, but I just like didn't get to it. And then I didn't continue on, though I want to. And it's just a really kind of unique take on, I don't know, like I don't know, I just think the writing is very, I don't want to say simple, but it's just like clean and fresh, if that makes sense. I don't know, and the kind of the concepts that are going on with the, I don't even want to say magic system, but kind of how the illusions and magic kind of go on in the world are really cool, and how a lot of it's based on like kind of reasoning and logic and stuff, and like kind of thought processes and everything. I just think it's really cool, so that's why I'm going with Harpist in the Wind. Plus, that's a pretty awesome title, if I do say so myself. Now I have a couple other books left over. I was sent The Book of Mistakes by Skip Pritchard, and I've never read a self-help book ever. And at first I was like, do I really want that? But I remember in my 2019 reading goals, I want to try different genres, different things. And like self-help seems to be really prominent, like a genre, like when I'm like ever going in stores or libraries and stuff. So I was like, I'll just like give this one a try, and I was like, yeah, I like the cover. I mean, it's fairly nice, and I like the title. It sounds kind of cool. It doesn't sound super boring, I guess. I don't know. So I have no idea really what it's about. All I know is there's like an ancient manuscript is like part of it. So you guys know me. I like my like ancient classical history and stuff. So I think that'll be kind of cool just to see like which ancient manuscript is like kind of being used in this one. Then I got 2 more books left. Let's see, I want to read one of my Osprey Publishing books. And if you guys are new to the channel, these ones have really great full plate illustrations and stuff that are highly accurate to the time period that it's covering. This one is Highland Clansmen from 1689 to 1746 by Stuart Reed, and the illustrations are done by Angus McBride. This is number 21 in the Warrior series, which is probably my favorite series out of like the dozen or so series that they have. And the reason I picked this one up is I do have some Scottish heritage, though I've never been to Scotland, and like none of my family has like ever been to Scotland. But it's just like super far back when I took my ancestry DNA thing and all that stuff. So I thought it'd be kind of cool when I saw this one. I picked that one up just because of that basically. Plus, like I said, this is kind of another era in history that I don't know too much about. Like I kind of know like kind of the bare bones of like English and Scottish and Irish history from like 1500 to like the modern times, but it's just like not one of my. It's never been one of my favorite eras in history. So I think it'd be good to basically learn a little bit more about that era. And then lastly, kind of to go with my Napoleon biography, I'd like to try and read like a very short introduction every month. I kind of fell off the wagon with that for the past couple months, but this one I want to try and rectify that with The French Revolution, a very short introduction by William Doyle. And I thought this one would just pair really well with the biography of Napoleon, because obviously the biography of Napoleon must deal with the French Revolution a little bit, and I thought maybe reading this one like right before would give me a little bit better context to kind of go along with that kind of major event in not just French, but yeah, European and world history as a whole. So that's kind of why I'm going with the French Revolution. So there you guys have it. Those are the books that I want to try and read in the month of March. Definitely not going to read all of them. However, if I could at least get most of them read, and then my plan is to finish at least the Napoleon out of the 2 big ones, and then get maybe halfway on the Brandon Sanderson Words of Radiance fantasy book. I know it's kind of, for me, there's just like really no way I'm going to be able to read both of them, I don't think. And something crazy happens, like I get sick for like a whole week and I can just like read in bed or something. But so that's kind of my plan for the month of March. Tell me what you guys think about any of the books that I selected for March, and just leave some comments down below if you've either read them or you know the authors or the topics or anything like that. If you have anything cool to say, I'd definitely be glad to talk to you about it. And then also tell me what your favorite book that you're going to be reading in the month of March. Tell me what that's going to be, and if you're reading it for one of these readathons or another readathon, because there's like 4 or 5 other readathons and reading events going on in the month of March as well. Just leave some comments down below. Be glad to talk to you about that. And always remember, whatever you end up reading, read victoriously.